Hello everyone. In this session, we are going to see Gauss Seidel technique considering PQ as well as PV buses. Let us see the steps to be followed. First step, assume the flat voltage profile for all the PQ buses. Here, why we have to assume flat voltage profile only for the PQ buses? So what about this PV buses? Let us try to understand this point. In any power system, whenever you are doing load flow analysis, majorly we will have three types of buses: slack bus, PV bus, PQ bus. For slack bus, the specified quantities mod V and load angle del. For PV bus, we will be having real power and voltage magnitude, and for PQ bus, we will be having P and the Q value. So we will perform the load flow analysis mainly to determine the bus voltages. Okay. So what are the voltages at each bus? So before going to start with any voltage for the first iteration, so first we need to know the bus voltages at the 0th iteration. Okay, so we should know what are the values at the 0 iteration before starting the first iteration. What are the values at the initial conditions? If you look at the slack bus, we are not going to determine anything for the slack bus. Mainly our focus will be on PV buses or PQ buses, or both PV buses and PQ buses. So if you see the PV bus, already they will give you the voltage. So we will assume the phase angle in general it will be at a 0 degrees. Now coming to the PQ buses, we won't be knowing any voltage for the PQ buses. So that is why we have to assume flat voltage profile 1 plus J0 for all the PQ buses. Okay, I hope you understood this point, because we won't be knowing this bus voltage for the PQ buses. So we will assume that as a flat voltage profile which is equal to 1 plus J0. So in polar form, if you want to represent, it is 1 at an angle 0 degrees. This is the magnitude of the voltage and this is the load angle. Now let us see the second point. Form the bus admittance matrix from the given data. Okay, so this point is same as like a previous problem. So whichever load flow analysis that we are going to do, especially by using the Gauss Seidel method, we need to form the Y-bus matrix. So read the given data. Suppose if your system is having 3 buses or 4 buses, they will be providing either the impedance value or the admittance value. Okay. So with respect to this system, find out what is the Y-bus matrix. Okay, you know 2 different methods that we are going to use here. One is the inspection method, or you can use the singular transformation method. Okay, so for load flow analysis in general, we won't go for this singular transformation method because it will become lengthy. So we will preferably use this inspection method only. Now let us see the third point. Set iteration count k is equal to 0. So this we have done in the previous problem also. Whenever we are working with the iterative technique, initially you will assume the iteration count as a 0. Next, calculate the reactive power QPK plus 1 of all the PV buses. In the last session, we have done Gauss Seidel method using PQ buses. There we have determined only the voltages at all the PQ buses. Why? Because for a PQ bus, we need to find out the voltage magnitude and the load angle. These two values will come from one and only one equation, that is voltage equation. Now, whenever you talk about the PV buses, quantities that we have to determine for PV bus are Q and del value. Now, we need 2 equations. Okay, this del value will come from this voltage equation and this Q value will come from the reactive power equation. We have derived the static load flow equations. What are the static load flow equations? One equation is with respect to real power at any bus P and another one is reactive power Q at any bus P. So in this problem we are going to use this reactive power QP at k plus 1th iteration. Now let us see the formula of QP k plus 1 minus sigma q is equal to 1 to n mod v suffix p mod v suffix q mod ypq sin theta pq plus del q minus del p. So this theta pq is the angle of ypq. Okay, whatever ypq you are taking here, the angle of this ypq, okay, you will write in general the ypq value as mod ypq at an angle of theta pq. Okay, from where these values will come is from this bus admittance matrix. Okay, you will form y bus, right? The elements of the y bus, one of the off diagonal element is ypq. So this v suffix p is the, if you take any two buses, one is the p bus and another one is the q bus. Now you can say this admittance which is connected between these two will be ypq, and the voltage at this p bus will be v suffix p, and the voltage at vq is v suffix q. Okay, the same thing you can write it as a mod v suffix p at an angle del suffix p and vq at an angle del q in terms of magnitude and phase angle. So because we know the voltage v is equal to mod v at an angle del in polar form. Now let us see the next point. Check for the q limits. The most important point that we should concentrate whenever you are working with the PV buses. Q limits. That means we are going to calculate the Q at any bus P at k plus 1th iteration. Okay. We should check this value whether it is coming within the desired range or not. For example, they will give you this Q should be greater than the QP some minimum value and it should be less than or equal to the QP maximum. So for example, let me say if the QP minimum value is 1 and the maximum value, let me say 2.5. So whatever the calculated value that we are getting here, that should be within this range. Then only you can consider that bus as a PV bus. Suppose if you got the QP value as a 2 per unit. If they have given second bus as a PV bus means, yes, it is accepted. Second bus is a PV bus. Then you will proceed for the calculation of remaining things. Suppose if it is violating these limits, okay, it is not equal to any of this range, then what you have to do? So whether this bus will be retained as a PV bus or whether you have to do any modifications to this, that let us see. First point is QP k plus 1 within the limits. If QP minimum less than or equal to QP k plus 1 less than or equal to QP max. This is what the condition I have given. If it is coming within this range, then consider this QP k plus 1 as a required value and proceed for the calculation of del P k plus 1. For a PV bus, we need to find out the QP value at k plus 1th iteration and del P value at k plus 1th iteration. So what is this P? This P is the bus number. Suppose if I say my second bus as a PV bus, then the P value will be equal to 2. That means you should find out the reactive power of the second bus. If k is equal to 0, you are going to find out at the first iteration. Similarly, del 2 for the first iteration. If this calculated value is coming within the range, then you consider this as a PV bus, then calculate the del 2 for the first iteration. That is about the PV bus. Now some more PQ buses will be there, right? In the system, if I say, as I told you, one will be the slack bus, second will be the PV bus, means the third will be PQ bus, right? For PV buses, you have determined Q and del value. Similarly, you need to find out the V suffix P K plus 1 at all the PQ buses. Right now we have only one. Okay, there is no rule that you will have only one PV and one PQ. You may be having multiple buses also. So let me say PQ bus means you should find V3 and V4 at first iteration. That is what the meaning of this. Okay, calculate the bus voltages at all the PQ buses. This is about if the QPK plus 1 is within the limits. Suppose if QPK plus 1 violating the limits. So what is meant by violating the limits? It is not within the range. So whatever I have given, okay, suppose let me say I have given 1 less than or equal to Q less than or equal to 2.5. Now I have calculated one value. It is not coming within the range. So it is not coming within the range means here two conditions we may have. Violating the lower limit or violating the upper limit side. Yes or no? If I say Q is equal to 0.5, your Q value is less than the Q minimum. Right? This is Q minimum and this is Q maximum limit. Suppose if my calculated value is coming it as a 2.7. So which side it is violating? Your Q value has become greater than QP maximum. So now what are these two conditions mean? At any point we are not allowed to take the Q value less than 1. This side also at any point we are not allowed to go beyond the 2.5. Our maximum limits only these are. We should not go less than 1 and we should not go greater than 2.5. So now if we are getting like this, okay, less than minimum value and greater than maximum value, what we have to do? So let us see that. If QPK plus 1 is less than or equal to the QP minimum. So what he is telling, suppose this is the calculated value. Okay, this is the value that we got from the equation that we have used. So let me say the QPK plus 1 value is coming it as a 0.5. For example, let us take QP minimum value is equal to 1. So this value is less than QP minimum. In that condition, what you have to do means, we are not allowed to go beyond this value, okay, less than this value. So we will equate that value to the 1. Okay, what best we can do? So I am not allowed to go. This is only the minimum value that I can give for the QP minimum. So what I can do? So whatever calculated value, it will tell you are not allowed to take this value. So what I have to do now, you can give the minimum value only this value, not this value. So directly what you will do is, now you will tell QPK plus 1 value is equal to the QP minimum. So what is that minimum value? That is 1 per unit. So now what happened is, whenever you equate the Q value to QP minimum, you are defining the QP value. That means you are telling the QP value is 1 per unit means you are assigning the Q value. For a PV bus, already you will be knowing the P value. Now, whenever you tell that your Q value is equal to this much means, then you will be knowing the Q value also, right? Whenever you know the P and the Q value, that will become PQ bus. Okay, if you know the P value and if you know the Q value, that will be called as a PQ bus, not the PV bus. That is why what you will do is, you will equate that Q value to a Q minimum value, then retreat that PV bus as a PQ bus. Suppose I have taken second bus as a PV bus. Whenever this PV bus Q value is violating the limits, I will not consider this as a PV bus. Okay, I will retreat that as a PQ bus with the Q value is equal to the Q minimum value. Now I no need to find out the del P value. Directly I can find out the V2 at k plus 1. Yes or no? If it is a PQ bus, I need to find out only the voltage value. So it is for any load flow analysis that bus classification is very important. Again and again I am telling, if you don't know which bus and what are the quantities that you know and what are the quantities that you have to determine, if you have so much of confusion in this, it is very difficult to understand the load flow analysis. Before starting with this load flow analysis, everyone make sure that you will have a clear idea about the classification of buses and the specified quantities and the quantities to be obtained. Then only you will understand a better whatever I am speaking here. Next, if QP k plus 1 greater than or equal to QP maximum, that means now QP calculated value is violating the QP maximum value. So for example, if I am taking this value as a 2.5, if this value is coming as a 2.7, which is greater than the QP maximum, but I am not allowed to take this value. Okay, what is my maximum limit? Max to max I can take 2.5. That is my maximum limit. So now what I can do? Now I will equate that value to the maximum value. So that is only the possibility to me. So I will equate that QPK plus 1 to the QP maximum, which is 2.5. Again, what you have to do, whenever you are equating that Q value to some value, then that will not be considered as a PV buses. So now we have to retreat that bus as a PQ bus instead of PV bus and calculate the bus voltage. Now we are not going to calculate the del value. For these two conditions, you will calculate the bus voltage at that particular bus, because we are retreating that bus as a PQ bus instead of the PV bus. If you get this QPK plus 1 within the limits, we don't have any problem, because whatever PV bus they are giving, we will consider that as a PV bus and we will get the solution. There won't be any problem. Suppose if you are violating the limits, then you have to retreat that bus as a PQ bus instead of PV bus and calculate the voltage. So if you are clear with this procedure, then you can quickly solve the numerical. Now before going to start with the numerical, let us see the formulas that we need. First one is reactive power QPK plus 1 and bus voltage at any bus P, that is V suffix P K plus 1 iteration, and this already we have seen in the PQ buses case also. And the phase angle del P K plus 1 is nothing but, I have told you already, the V suffix P K plus 1 only can be written as mod V suffix P K plus 1 at an angle del P K plus 1, that is the angle of the V suffix P K plus 1 only, this del P K plus 1. Okay. Therefore, you can write del P K plus 1 as a angle of V suffix P K plus 1. So, if it is a PQ buses, we have used only voltage at V suffix P K plus 1. If you have the PV buses in the system, including this voltage at any bus P, you need to find out the Q and the del value of that particular PV bus. So, all of you can make a note of all these three formulas. So, along with this, GS method means obviously to speed up the convergence process. Sometimes they will give you the acceleration factor. If they have given the acceleration factor, as usual, however, we have considered for the PQ buses in the same way, we have to consider for PV buses also. Okay. V suffix P K plus 1 accelerated is equal to V suffix P K plus alpha into V suffix P K plus 1 minus V suffix P K. The general recommended value for alpha is 1.4, also may be considered as a 1.6. So this is very simple. After finding the voltages, just you need to put one extra step here. Suppose you have calculated voltage at the third bus for the first iteration. Okay, then how to find out the updated value by considering this acceleration factor means, So it is nothing but k is equal to 0, right? Here, that is the initial iteration count is 0. It is V3 power 0 plus 1.4 into V3 1 minus V3 0. Okay, if you add this, suppose V3 0, obviously it is a flat voltage profile. Okay, it will be like 1 plus J0 plus 1.4 into V3 1. So after first iteration, whatever value that we are going to get, okay, it may be like, so you may get 1.02 or 1.04 or it may be 0.99 also. So whatever it is, minus V30 is 1 plus J0. Okay, whatever value that we are going to get here, that is the value that we are giving for the voltage at the third bus after first iteration after considering this alpha. Thank you.